Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to the homestead. In this video I want to demonstrate some of the custom built tools that I've made to enable us to work and manage the market garden. Some of these are made through necessity, some are inspired by something I've seen elsewhere, but the whole point is I've built them myself. They're made to kind of the exact requirements that I need. So we have a market garden set up here, and everything is standardized. So the beds are 75 centimeters wide, they're 10 meters long. There's a few shorter beds at the top, but same width, and that means that we can plant in nice neat rows, which streamlines the operation a bit. It's not something we have to worry a lot about. This is a homestead at the end of the day, but I think it's good to be efficient in our food production, or lean, I think is the word that's used at the moment. So the first tool that we have is this row marker, and I built this you drag it along the bed, and it will, depending on the number of teeth, it will leave a line which you can either use as a guide to plant transplants or bulbs, or you can actually use it to seed into. You can adjust the depth of the teeth, and I've got these. There's a plate that you attach with a butterfly nut, and I've built 3, 4, 5 and 6 teeth plates. In fact, there's 2 lots of 3 teeth with different spacings, and you just change them around as you need them. I mean, to be honest, the 6 row plate is only used for carrots, and 5 rows we use for onions, I think. The rest are all 4s and 3s, and they're all equidistant for good, perfect spacing. And yeah, you'll see here I'm just demonstrating this row marker, and it's really easy to use actually, and it makes things a lot easier and nice and neat and tidy. It was really easy to make, and you can see this marks the end of the bed, the side of the bed, so I'm always at the right distance. So that's the first tool I made. Next, I wanted to look at how we cultivate, how we get rid of weeds. Now, we have taken a no-dig approach here, so it's really minimal disturbance as opposed to no-dig. We aren't digging, we aren't tilling, but weeds still appear. We still suffer the consequences of previous years of tillage. But because we've got everything in neat rows, using the previous tool, we can then use some more efficient cultivation methods. And so I built these 2 sort of wire hose, I suppose you'd call them. It's copper wire, which I think was used for electrical stuff. And I've then welded 2 nails together and then taped those on with PVC tape. Quite crude, but it keeps it nice and stiff. And basically the wire weeder, you take it through the bed, and it goes just below the surface, and it's just enough to disturb the weeds. And the idea of using this is just when the weeds are very tiny, or actually doing something what I call pre-weeding. So we're just running it along the soil just to disturb any weeds that may have settled and have started to root. Okay, so just to demonstrate this, the more narrow of the 2 wire weeders, or wire hose, what even call it, wire cultivators even. I'm just going to go through these pat choy. This was only done yesterday anyway, but just for the sake of demonstration. So because they're all equally spaced, I think these are 20 or 15 centimeters. We can get a hoe either way. And it just glides under the top layer of the soil, just disturbs those top weeds. And then of course we can also go along the bed and back with these. I mean, you can imagine if you've got several beds to do, you just need to run up and down, and you can almost literally run, I suppose, but just walk gently up and down with the wire weeder. It just disturb the soil and the weeds, and that's it, the job's done then really. Really efficient way to weed, or pre-weed as I said. So I'm taking the previous idea, the wire weeder, perhaps a step forward. I started then making something a bit more robust and even easier to use. So I then started welding some bits together to make a head, and these are, I think, 6-inch nails, and then another piece of metal which is a lot thinner, and then they're welded together, and there's a neck, and then I've welded on the end of it a screwdriver bit from a quick release bit for a screwdriver, and then I've got this quick release bit here, which is then I've drilled a hole into this replacement pole, put the shaft of the quick release head into that, and then I've built two, one for a wider distance and then a shorter distance where there's more rows, and then you can just pop that and then the other one clicks in. There's a little bit of play there, which is great, but it's really solid in there. You can't, unless you pull back the collar, you can't release the heads. So you don't need to carry about two poles, two different tools, you just carry the spare head. And these work really well actually. Again, just skim under the surface of the soil to remove any weeds. So we've looked at how we set the rows up and plant and transplant, and how we cultivate and manage the rows. And then I've just got one last tool that I've made to help me rebuild the rows at the end of the year, which we've started to use now as we prepare to put the beds to sleep. Reline them with compost, and then we'll leave them until next year. So let's just look at this last tool now. This is the bed reshaper. Obviously initially when the beds were built we were using string lines, and we used a shaped shovel to get the lines straight. But when we come to rebuild them or top them up in autumn, we don't really want to go through and have everything strung again when we've got this tool that works perfectly well. So basically the distance in between is 75 centimetres. There's quite a long two planks here, and a supporting plank, a couple of supporting planks across the top. It's as simple as that with some screws. And then with a rake, I'll just we'll pour on some fresh compost, and with a rake just rake it through up to the sides, and then with the rake you can easily push and pull this along like a sled really, and you just go way up and down the bed, and it leaves a perfectly nice edged bed. And of course then as we top up the wood chips as well for the winter, we've already got the edge that has been left from the bed, so that the edge the wood chips can perfectly align to the bed, and that's all done already. So we'll just put some compost into there. And I've just got a normal garden rake, and I can just spread that compost out. I know that it's not going to go over the sides because of the sides of the bed shaper. Spread that out nicely, and then I can drag the shaper along, bring some more compost in. What I would normally do is bring the compost on first and dump it along the bed in readiness, but just for the demonstration purposes of the video, here's one I've not made earlier, as they say, or don't say as the case may be. So yeah, and then you end up with a nice neat line and not a lot of spillage over on top of the wood chips. Job done. So there we are, there's the array of tools that I've made myself to help build and manage this market garden the most efficiently and effectively I can. The next thing I want to do is learn how to electroplate, so that I can plate these tools, these new metal ones, just to make them a bit more rust resistant. But it's not absolutely essential at the moment for me anyway. That they live indoors when it's wet weather anyway. So, and just a quick rub with sandpaper just takes any rust off that has built up. So no problem at all really. But anyway, that's the next stage. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it of some interest, and if you've got any questions about any of the tools that I've made, then please do leave them in the comments below. If you're not subscribed, then please do consider subscribing by hitting that big red button at the bottom of the video. I've got lots of great videos that I'm working on at the moment. I'm sure will be of interest to you. So thanks again for watching, and oh, check us out on Instagram as well. We've got an Instagram that we update on a daily basis, and that's Baltic Homesteaders as well. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.